I'm calling this Flex Like a Bodybuilder because this gives you the basic feeling of what I'm trying to do here in tensegrity training, tensional integrity. Basically, it's an isometric tension that I'm holding through the body, but I've got to hold this tension in a particular way. First of all, I've got to hold the correct bone structure. The alignment of the skeleton has got to be right. And then secondly, the tension has got to be in the ligaments and the tendons. There's a stretch in the body, and this creates an elastic power. And that is quite literally tensegrity. It's a structure held together with an elastic power. So it's a self-healing structure. It will bounce back. So essentially that's what I'm creating here, a powerful elastic body. But I'm doing that by activating isometric tension throughout the whole body, all the tendons and ligaments, even the muscles to an extent, but mostly the joints. And I'm connecting all these ligaments together into one piece, one single unit. So once I've activated this entire body isometric tension, I can move through it dynamically. But it's not quite muscular tension. You see, muscular tension is stiffer. It's tendons and ligaments. It's the joints. You see here now what I'm doing is activating the elbow joint. And you do it by holding the elbow in, keeping the pit of the elbow up like that, but twisting the wrist over. You see now, if I twist the wrist over but control the elbow, what happens is I'm activating the tendons, the ligaments in the elbow joint. So it's not so much the bicep and the tricep, it's the two ligaments at the side of the elbow. And you've got to learn how to activate these. So here, even just bend it, you can see this is the ligament here, right here. And you've got to keep the pit of the elbow pointing up, but twist the wrist over. So I'm activating the elbow tendons. Then I can do the same for the wrist, the same for the shoulder, etc., etc. But each joint is quite tricky to do. You've got to play around with it. You've got to work this out. It's about creating a twist in the joint and a counter twist, where you stretch one way and you stretch the other way all at once. And you see here now it's very fast. I can create these sharp dynamic movements just through this isometric tension, this elastic force in the ligaments, the tendons, the joints. Now I'm activating the shoulders and the scapula. But here also it's the rib cage. You see, the breathing it starts with the breathing, but not esoterically, quite practically. An expansion in the rib cage creates an expansion in the shoulders, and that creates a movement. It flows out. So you breathe deeply into the back of the ribs. But I'm maintaining an isometric tension in the waistline, in the torso. The belly is always pulled in, the obliques are active. There's tension around the waistline. And the chest is slightly expanded, but more at the back. Again, the ribs are expanded at the back, but you hold the belly in tight to activate a resistance to that. So I'm holding the natural S-curve of the spine, hips and shoulders also slightly back. They're in their mid-position, it's more balanced. Even here the neck, you see, activate tension right into the neck. So this creates an entire structure, and you can think of this as an iron body training. And again, you can see this in internal Kung Fu, but what I'm doing is slightly different. The structure I'm holding is a neutral spine. It's more like a dancer. Elongated spine in its natural position, and you've got to hold the belly in tight. TA muscle pulled in, obliques pulled in at the side, so there's always an isometric tension in the waistline. Everything must start from there. It's very difficult, we all forget it, I forget it, and I relax my belly. The belly's got to be tight because it will support the lumbar spine, and you must hold the spine in its natural S-curve. There's a slight backwards arch, an anterior pelvic tilt. Here, slight backwards arch, but you hold the belly in to counteract that. This is the natural, neutral position of the spine. From here you can twist and bend, but you spring back to this position. You see, you've got to hold the isometric tension to create this tensegrity, this elastic power, but it's self-repair. It will spring back to the correct position. But you have to learn that position and hold it, and then hold it with this tension. But now you see my arms are relaxed. Tension still in the waistline, creating a movement but relaxing that outwards to the arms. Again, this is high tension work, but always relax. You must practice relaxation. Always loosen up at the end. Always check there's no residual tension. Deep relaxation must be done also together with this. Very important. So do be careful, slowly and carefully. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it made sense, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.